Today I welcome to Playing with the Dev, Patrik Jarlstam, the composer of the Valheim soundtrack. He joins me on the Ravenheim server, along with fellow Ravens, Versal, and Lola Leishon. Hi, Patrik!
Hello there. How are you today?
I'm good!
Happy times.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you in
It is very
voice.
lovely. Yes, it is very lovely to get to meet you too. It's been a long time in the coming, this little gaming session.
I know! We've gone round and round with the scheduling, but everything's crazy in the world these days, so...
Good. I'm just preparing my character so I can join you in the server.
So I'd like you to meet a couple of my friends that are here with me. We're going to be chatting today.
Of course.
We have Versal.
Hello, Patrick.
Oh, hello there, Versor.
Versal is also a content creator, and he specializes in building in the game.
Very cool.
Yes. And Lala is here.
Patrik.
Hello, Lola.
And Lala has mostly done Let's Plays running through, and she's been playing the game blind, so like she's just gone in without like looking at tutorials and everything, and just like playing it as you go on your own.
Very cool.
Yeah. This video is sponsored by HostEZ. HostEZ provides dedicated server hosting with the right amount of high-quality hardware and bandwidth that you need for a smooth experience. See the link and discount code below to get your server set up and start playing with your friends right away.
Well, how lovely to meet you all.
Lovely
Yeah,
to
nice
meet
to
you.
meet you too as well.
You're all based in the US?
No, I'm actually in Jamaica.
Oh, Jamaica. How fantastic.
And I'm from Wales.
Ah, how lovely. And now because I love languages, and I think that Welsh is such a fantastic language. I easily fall into a very fake Welsh accent when I want to be happy, when I want to speak with a happy accent. And I really like Rob Brydon.
Oh yeah, he's great. He is great.
So that's absolutely lovely. I also do, I easily fall into, when I speak to people and they have a very outspoken accent, I easily fall into their way of speaking. And for some reason, the Jamaican accent is also an absolutely lovely accent, and I always try to do a very bad fake accent of that when I want to speak about falling into other people's accents, because the Jamaican one is as such, it's wonderful, lovely people.
I love the Jamaican accent too. And that's funny because it does seem like that's one that gets imitated a lot.
Yeah, I think it's so. It's a relatively broad accent that I don't know if it makes the. I mean, there's a couple of accents that are just really hard to do, but I don't know if the Jamaican one is hard or not. But there's something so jaunty about Jamaican, the stereotypical Jamaican way of speaking. So I would guess that there's heaps of different accent variations there, as there always is.
Yeah.
Yeah, V, you said that you try to keep your accent in a certain way when you're talking with us so that we can understand you, right?
Yeah.
Try not to make it too
yeah,
thick.
yeah. I mean, you have different level of it. So in some places in Jamaica, it can be very thick that even I sometimes can't understand. So.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I'm in Sweden at the moment visiting my my friends and family. I haven't been able to be back for 2 years because of lockdown in Australia, and the region I'm from is both. It's a very small region, but it's very rural and very big city at the same time. So we have the stereotypes when people hear my accent. It's either very farmery, rural, it's very professor-like. There's very little in between for the stereotypes. But it's there are definitely people who come from here who, when you hear their accent, it's just so hard to understand. But it's also lovely that these people do exist.
Yeah, it's so true in different areas too. I'm from Texas.
Yep.
And I was on a road trip one time in the state of Pennsylvania, and kind of got turned around on a back road and pulled over at this farm where someone was standing out front, And I walked up to him and said, "Hi, I was wondering if you could help me. I'm trying to find such and such road, and can you point me in the right direction?" And the whole time that I was talking, he was looking at me with the strangest expression on his face. And like a little grin. I didn't know why. I thought it was a little odd. And then he started talking, and I was like, "Oh my God." And I had the same look on my face because it was like talking to an alien. Like, we were speaking the same language, but it was like so far apart that, yeah, it was funny. It was funny.
It is. It's an interesting. It's the stereotypes with people are so interesting. How you meet, because on the, I should say, I lived for a short while in Iraq, in Kurdistan. So I have a fair few friends from there, and I really enjoyed the time being there. And it's now with COVID, when I was traveling over here in January, it's so boring because you can't really talk to people on the plane, and those type of meetings don't really happen. So everyone was just sitting quiet. And then at the end of the flight, when we landed in Copenhagen, there's this couple, my age, 36 approximately, next to me, who looked Kurdish or Iraqi. I was just thinking the whole time, it's so nice to like think back on those times and those people I've met. Anyway, so when we were just getting our stuff and going to disembark the plane, I think I mentioned something to them. I've just heard them speak what I thought would be Arabic to each other, and it turns out that they speak my home county accent in Swedish. So it was really cool. This how it felt like we've got this meeting and understanding just through a language, and I don't necessarily know if anyone thought about what would the other people, how would they talk. But it was fun. It was fun.
That's something that I have found really, really awesome in the Valheim community too, is that like this connects people from all around the world. I mean, obviously, look at us. We're all around the world right now. Like just us sitting here. And
Yes.
I mean, I've talked with people from everywhere, from places I've never talked to someone before. I, have made like really good friends with people from all over the world. And that's something I really love about this game, about this community too.
I think it's just the type of thing that it was the perfect game at the perfect time, because people having been in lockdown, not having had those social contacts, and finally a game that you can play. Well, there's many games you can play with your friends, but it was something new that you could play with your friends that worked really well. And I think that just brought communities of people together that had been separated slightly before because of COVID. So I agree. And it's really fun. A lot of my friends have played Valheim too, so it's nice that something I've worked on, everyone can enjoy and have fun with together.
That is cool.
What type of things do you all do outside of Valheim?
Nothing. That's all I do.
What a fantastic thing.
Well, I am a parent, and so I spend time doing that, taking care of the family and doing kid stuff and school stuff and
It's a big job.
yeah, that. And then I have other games that I play too, but honestly, they've all kind of fallen to the side since I became obsessed with Valheim.
Yeah. I was playing Minecraft before I started playing Valheim, and basically dropped Minecraft instantly once I got a taste of it. I feel bad though, because been playing Minecraft for like over 7 years, so
Wow.
yeah.
Well, that's why you're so good at building, then. You've had lots of practice.
But the thing is that carrying that building thing from Minecraft to Valheim is pretty different. I had to adjust with a lot of things, so
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess.
Different tools.
yeah.
And in Minecraft, you don't have to worry too much about like structural integrity and that sort of stuff.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That was like the big thing for me. Like I'm visualizing this, but how can I achieve it in Valheim because of the
Yeah.
whole structural integrity and all of that stuff. But as I go along and kind of understand it more and more, it started to become a lot easier. But yeah, in the initial days, man, it was rough.
Yeah.
That adds another level of interest to the building in Valheim. I think that was a really stroke of genius that they added that, because I think it does make it unique.
That they
Yeah, I
added
love
what?
the integrity system.
Oh yeah. And I am in.
Hello, we're behind you.
Hello. Woohoo! Hello everybody. I'm just gonna fix my settings. So, when I work at home, I usually have a dedicated gaming PC that I do because I do work for other games that you need it to have a good PC for that. But now that I'm traveling, couldn't bring that all with me. It's in my apartment in another town here in Sweden. So my Mac will have to do.
You're here. It works.
Feeling
That's all that
very
matters.
impressed.
Yeah.
Yay! Trying to get a feel for all of the controls again.
Well, we'll keep you
Cool.
safe. You're well
Yeah, thank you.
protected.
Way!
You're surrounded by Vikings.
Finest Vikings in the land.
Right?
Yeah. Nice.
We have a portal over here that takes us to our little village that we've started.
Mm.
So, like I mentioned, this is Ravenheim, and this is a server of all content creators.
Mm.
And it's a relatively new server, so you're not gonna find like a bunch of huge fancy builds here yet. We have no iron yet. Honestly,
Yes.
I went last night searching for hours to try and get iron for you because I wanted to build you a piano.
Have they added that?
No, it's a way to build it from scratch that I've seen by someone called Ghost Builds. It's a genius design. And I actually, when we were gonna play before it got delayed, I was playing on a different server that was already at the end, and I was already building it. But then I was like, no, I want to bring you here because this is like the fresh new world where we're at. And I was like, oh, but I don't have iron to make his piano. So I looked last night to no avail. I died and I tried. I'm sorry, you don't have a piano here.
No worries. We'll make our own entertainment.
That's right. So this is our hype house. It's like a little community house. Well, I say little. This was built by Smitty Survival. And he threw this thing together in like 3 days, which is unbelievable to me. He's also an amazing builder.
Yeah.
For sure.
Very cool.
It's
Yes.
kind of like an inn. And upstairs is guest rooms if you would like to claim a bed.
I always like this, the royal tour of you can hear that I come from a monarchy country, but you get royal tour of the abode, the house. It is very cool. I must say, the thing that I'm worst at in these type of games is building. My passion is woodworking in real life, and I feel like it's hard to translate the stuff I know how to do there over to how to build something in these games. But it's I mean, it's as any skill and something you need to practice. This is really nice with the windows and everything.
Yeah, Smitty does such cool design. I mean, like, you know, when you start the game, everybody makes a little shack or takes over a little abandoned building. Not him. Nope. Nope. He had to start. He's like, every level of building, you know, should be beautiful. So, yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
All the details.
Speaking of houses and things, I come from a small town called Löddeköpinge, which is about 7,000-8,000 people here in my region. And the next town over had a Viking museum, which would be real Viking. Well, not they haven't been there since the Viking time. They've been built for a while ago, and they would do summer. You could come there and go and look at all this places. And it's really fun how realistic a lot of this feels, according to what I grew up with. But they've actually moved that museum to my old hometown so I'm going to go and visit it in April.
Wow.
And have a look at it. It's also fun with this game because a lot of that, you go into the burial crypts and all of that. We grew up with having the real ones of those smaller. You have to crawl into them, but having them just around the corner. So we would walk 5 minutes and you're at a meadow, and yeah, there it is. Anyone can go in.
That's cool. I had heard you say elsewhere, I think it was in Jirok's interview maybe, about having been around some of those things when you were growing up and how that has influenced you and influenced how you've made the music for Valheim.
Yes, exactly. Because I was stuck in Australia when I composed the music for this, so I had to channel all of those nostalgic memories of visiting these Viking places, but also just being in Swedish forests generally, in leafy forests and pine forests, how it feels to be there, and channeling that into the music. So that was a big help.
That's awesome. Do you want to go ahead and claim a bed just in case, so you don't, you shouldn't die, but just in case.
I've claimed one now. It looks very nice.
Okay, perfect. That's the fanciest one. We made it just for you.
I put very lead to this bed. So thank you so much for that.
It was calling to you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Where are your beds?
We don't have beds here yet because this is the inn and Smitty just finished it yesterday. But we do have little builds started here in the village. We can give you a little walk around if you'd like.
Yes, please. Thank you, Smitty, for this wonderful little place.
Yeah. I was amazed that he was able, and I think Magzag helped him some with getting it started too. Yeah, but I was like, wow, threw that together, did you?
Yep. I just see that there's some sparks coming out over here from this little house.
Uh-oh. We got somebody causing trouble.
Is that Steve?
It is,
Probably Steve. Wait.
I trapped him in there.
You trapped him in there? What have you done, Lala?
Oh no, he's ruined all my stuff. I wanted to keep him as a pet.
What?
I forgot he'd break all my stuff.
I'm gonna let you go first. Are you gonna kill him? What are you gonna do about this?
I don't know. I'll just give him a telling off. I guess I'll take him out.
Oh, I heard it.
Oh god.
He was
He's
taken out for a
gone.
walk. The eternal walk.
It's quite funny. He's gone in the Grey Dwarf Eye's chest. Like he's come to take his friends back.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
So this is Lala's house, her starter house.
Nice.
Most of us don't have gray dwarfs in our houses.
No.
That's a feature.
I say most. Right? It's not a bug, it's a feature. That's the line.
Yes.
Let's see. And over here is Kaisen's house. It was Kaisen's idea to start Ravenheim in the beginning. And so he kind of spearheaded everything and is hosting the server for us.
I have a couple of friends who played during lockdown, I think about 600-700 hours of Valheim. So they'd done everything and built giant castles and things, and they were getting a bit not tired of it, but they'd done a lot of things. And then they opened up and started playing in other people's servers and found that quite fun as a change.
Yeah. It's
totally different playing with people as regards to playing on your own. I think it's just a different dynamic, and there's, you've got to sort of share resources, because there's obviously only so much crypts and iron and all that, so you've got to be a bit careful with what you use, and it's a lot of fun playing with other people.
Exactly. And now, of course, I should say I'm passionate about languages and I love people. So, of course, I've had a look into a lot of the similarities between the English language and what's old Scandinavian words, for example. And Lola, do you know any Scandinavian words that are used in English that you've come across, or that you happen to know to be Scandinavian ones?
Oh, I don't think so.
You probably heard smorgasbord.
Yes, I do know that
I've
one.
heard that.
Yes, that's a Swedish word.
Oh.
Smorgas means sandwich. For
Oh.
some, the literal meaning of it is buttered goose, but it's a smorgasbord is basically like a buffet, and
Yeah.
and in Japanese they call a buffet, they call a Viking.
Oh.
They call a buffet a Viking.
Yep.
Interesting.
I guess Mags would know that because Mags is quite good at Japanese, isn't she? She lives in Japan.
She's in Japan, yeah.
Ah, cool.
She teaches English in Japan, I believe.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm an absolute fan of Japanese culture. And it's probably the country besides Australia that I've now traveled to most in my life, outside of Europe, because I've probably been to Denmark more times, but that's just 30 minutes via train.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love Japan. It's so beautiful.
it is.
Yeah, this is Smitty's starter shack.
A
Not so
house
much
in the
shack.
countryside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
really cool.
Faking West Country. Get off my lawn.
So we're in the meadows right now, and
Yes.
I think the meadows music is probably one of the favorites that people have in the game.
It is one of the hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I play guitar and mandolin on this track. And now we're coming up to so here is the B part. No, it's the return to the A part. Sorry. So this is the funny story about this is that the guitar I'm playing in the A part of this track, which you're hearing now, is a guitar that's been run over by a car once.
What?
Because when I started, it didn't break, but it maybe wasn't as happy as it should be. Because at the time when I got the Valheim gig, I didn't have an acoustic guitar of my own in Australia, so I was using my partner's. My partner is the one who plays this viola melody, and she plays the clarinet as well. So all viola and clarinet stuff up until the recent Mountain Caves track has been my partner.
Oh, wow.
And so it's her old guitar. Anyway, so I used that for that. But then I thought I need a better guitar, so I went out and bought one. So the B part of the Meadows theme is with a better guitar. You can hear that the guitar sounds a bit different there.
Can I admit something very embarrassing to you?
Please do.
I had the music turned off.
Ah!
So I was like, you start talking about it, I was like, oh no, I can't hear. Unfortunately, when I'm recording sometimes, if I'm going to be recording across different biomes and cutting it together, I have to like turn the music off to be able to edit all the different scenes together in one thing and then put it back in.
Absolutely. That's just smart.
Which takes a lot of editing time to cut that way, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly. No, I completely understand that. My aim as a video game composer is always to make music that is so good that you don't want to turn off the music. Of course, everybody at some point will turn off the music, different music. You want to listen to something else, or you want to have your own soundtrack, or yada, yada, yada. But the aim, at least, is to make it as good as possible.
Well, I think that you've achieved it with this because I love the music in this game. I've heard nothing but positive things in the community about the music in this game too.
People have been really supportive. It's almost more fun to count the negative things people have said. And I'm really, really lucky that I can almost count them on my two fingers, the negative comments I've read. But it's one of the ones I found quite funny was about the Plains song, because that I composed together with my colleague Malin Håkansson. We have a video game music sound design and voiceover company that we run together called Solid Sounds, and so she made we co-worked on that track. And there was someone who wrote, possibly a bot, but they said that music is really good, but when you get to the Plains, you can obviously hear that they never played that far in the game.
What?
I thought that was quite funny.
That's
But,
just odd to me. It doesn't make sense.
yeah, well, they probably thought it didn't fit at all,
Yeah,
is my guess. But yeah,
like it didn't connect with them, so
no.
that's interesting. This
And
is.
it's always
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
Then it's always the thing with video games that it's, of course, in the end you're going to be viewed as the person who made the soundtrack, but there's so many things from other people who go into it, notwithstanding the CEO of the company, Richard Svensson, who has had quite a clear idea of what he's wanted. Some tracks he's just let me roam free, while other ones, for example, the sailing music and the mountains music, we really worked and made different versions until we found the one. And so it's a lot of his vision, even though it's sort of implemented through me making the music. But yeah, and also sometimes, not with this game, but there have been other games where people decide they want music that you as a composer feel like this is not going to be the best music for the game, but they're the ones paying for it. So you have to do what you'll be paid to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like with Richard really had a good vision for the game, and he knew what fit and what he wanted, and I think that's really done a good service to the game.
I think so. That seems to be a theme that comes through no matter what dev or what part of the game that we're talking about, is that it always comes back to Richard's vision and staying true to that vision.
He's probably lived and breathed this game for so long that he really knows it. Well, no, that is true.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the core of the game is, his vision. That's how it got started. So
Exactly.
is he still really, or somewhat involved with how you're composing music for the newer stuff now? Because, excuse me, I know he's got a lot on his plate these days.
Yes, he does. No, he's very much involved, but we just have shorter meetings.
Nice.
And I think that's the thing with because I feel like sometimes it's very rare that you as a composer get full creative license to do what you think is right. And the Meadows track is one where there was no direction given to what Richard wanted, but this is what I proposed. But I think that you get used to that once you manage. So I'm eating candy in the background. It's just so tasty. I think you get used to that. You input on things, and it's hard at that point to just go, "Oh, do whatever you think is right." So we trade back and forth a little bit. Still, but I think he's so involved in it. He's never going to be just. He's always going to be involved in one part because he knows it. He knows what it is, and he knows what he wants. And I think he's really good at that. And he stays very true to the game. So I definitely trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess as well, as you guys work together more and kind of get to know each other, you kind of trust each other's sort of thoughts and things about how certain things need to be, and so you can just be sent away and say, make me a track for this, and you kind of already know what kind of thing they're looking for, so you can just go away and do it, and they know that you know enough that you'd be able to go away and make something pretty impressive without too much direction, but still bring something that was part of the original vision, I guess.
Yes, I mean that's the hope when you work together. Funnily enough, we've actually not met in real life yet.
Oh wow!
Because I was in Australia, but
Right.
I am going to. So there's a symphony rock orchestra that's going to be playing the music from Valheim as a medley in Stockholm on the 2nd of April.
Yes,
so I'll be
I
up
wanted
there.
to ask you about that.
Yes, I'm hoping I'll meet the whole Valheim team then.
That would be awesome. Well, I know some of them are planning to go, at least. Yeah.
Oh, this is cool.
This is our little temporary storage building, so-called, that Versailles built.
Wow.
This is Versailles' version of a quick storage building.
This is amazing, my dude. This is severely cool.
Isn't it?
Yep, it is. You've managed to make storage space incredibly cozy. And it feels more like almost like a wine cellar. Like there's
Yeah.
it's thought out and it's functional and also very well decorated. I'm deeply impressed.
Well, thank you for your music for the inspiration.
Yee. I have to compose something for this. That's the only thing that's a bit of a shame. There's never enough time in life to do all the things you want.
No.
Yeah.
No, unless we all figure out a way of how we can carry on without needing to sleep.
Exactly.
I'm trying my best.
As parents, definitely you learn that. My sister I only have one sister. She just had her first child. That's also the reason I'm back in Sweden to help her
Nice.
and her husband, because they're my best friends.
Nice.
And it's when you're so close with someone, it's not just that I am an uncle, and I know that being an uncle can be everything from being not there at all to being incredibly involved. But I almost feel like I've become a parent in some fashion, because I know I'm going to follow this child throughout the rest of her life, and it's going to just be so cool. But yeah, it's the sleep schedule has been all over the place.
Yeah.
As you probably have experienced as well.
Yes. Whenever someone tells me that I have a new baby, they have a new baby, I say, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing! You must be so exhausted." Right, Versailles?
Yeah.
He's got a little one at the moment, often in his
Ooh.
arms while he's playing.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a bundle of joy, so.
Oh, yeah.
Although I'm tired, but yeah.
But we are tired but happy. And I think that's if we're happy, then the tiredness does not matter as much.
It's true.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
I'm really amazed. This is a place I would like to hang out, like to be. This is really cool. And that's interesting because I have such low resolution now. I can only load in the not everything at a distance, so it looks like the main inn, which I think is the main inn, just looks like a very cool sculpture, or maybe it is a very cool sculpture. I don't know yet. No, it is the inn. It looks like a very cool sculpture. Because it's only loaded in the facade, so it looks almost like a Minecraft blocky type. You know those types of sculptures where you have to look at them because they're hanging from the ceiling in different formations. You have to look at them from one angle, and then it all lines up. And if you go to the side, it's just hanging things. That's what it looks like. So that would be a cool artwork in here, but hard to pull off because of integrity, structural one.
That integrity gets you every time.
Yes.
This is where Versailles Magzag started.
Welcome to Shantytown.
Yeah, man. But it's cozy. It's cozy.
Oh, we have
the
a little...
hut.
Sorry if anything's broken here, because I was on the server, I think it was yesterday, and we had a Draugr attack. I tried my very best to keep them from attacking everything, so I think I put everything back as good as possible, but yeah. Mostly your little shacked me, unfortunately, but yeah.
Yeah, I had one of those last night, too. I just kited them away from the buildings and then died. And then they came and started beating up on my little tiny house.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, well, this is good practice because we are heading to the swamp soon.
I hate
Yes.
the swamps.
yeah.
Let me tell you something about the swamps.
Please do.
And I hope this doesn't hurt your feelings, Patrik, but when I am in the swamps, I turn the music off.
Stuff like okay.
Speaking of when people turn the music off,
Now, what makes you turn off the music there?
it freaks me out. I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, I don't like the swamps in general. I don't like the idea of dead things in water. I don't like the sounds always making me think there's something behind me. And
Yeah.
then the music is just like that extra level that puts me like over the edge, and I'm like, nope, nope, nope. Like, it's, I'm not kidding. It's ridiculous. And I have played this game for over 1,000 hours. I've been in the swamps many times. I still don't like it.
Yes, I find that one very interesting because the song in the swamps it's an A-B section song, with the A section being more atonal symphony orchestra with a lot of what we call musical effects. So it's not as tonal, it's not as melodic, but it is that sense of chromatic movement in music that is supposed to make you feel on edge. And then there's a B part where the percussion comes in, and you have this viola melody, which I really like. But it's supposed to make you not feel good, and it's a shame because the B part melody is so nice.
Yeah.
But it used to be very low in volume, so people didn't even hear that there was music in the swamps for a long time.
Huh.
Which reminds me of that the deadline for this game, I put in the last songs and everything, like the final master of the songs, 3 hours before the absolute deadline cut off, because it was just such a short time.
You had you did it in like 4 months, right?
Yes, it's a there's a very good Swedish saying called that is truth, but with modification. So what that means is, yes, it is true. It was made officially in 4 months, but I did work for about 3 months before that as a creating proof of concepts, and a lot of those tracks made it into. So, for example, the Black Forest was made then.
Nice.
Together with the Mother boss music and one more track. I can't remember which one it is at the moment. Anyway, so they were made to sort of show proof of concept and that we'd like working together. And then the idea was to do the soundtrack in 2 months, which I thought, yeah, that'd be fine. Full time, 2 months. It was not fine. That's a very nice track, by the way.
Oh my gosh, Versailles. You are so busted.
Genius.
You are busted.
But I have a sign right here. Just making sure that anyone.
I thought you were just being funny with your sign.
I was being serious.
Oh, this is great.
Oh my gosh, the pranks continue. We have so many pranks going on in this server. It's ridiculous.
I am very happy.
I can't even. I mean, somebody actually did put a gray dwarf under Versailles' bed.
It's sort of what you don't expect to find is always the really funny things.
You crazy person. It's his fault. He started it. We blame everything on him.
Let's continue with it.
He set my house on fire.
No, I wasn't setting it on fire.
No.
I was just sharing my warm love and greeting.
Very nice. But yeah, just to finish off what I was saying before, it just wasn't possible to work full time 8 hours a day composing music when you've been in lockdown and your world feels so small. And we're lucky that they actually pushed the deadline back, as we say in Australian English. Do you say that in America? Do you say you push something forward, or you push something back when it goes like later in time?
Push it back. Well, I mean, you could say it both ways depending on the context. Like if you say we need to push this date forward, but if you're just talking in general, you could say we had to push it back. Yeah. So it could be done either way.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. How's it in?
I think it depends on the person, because I know people, when I say about like if you had a meet, if somebody said, you know, we had a meeting at 12 and they said we have to push it back by an hour, some people would say that the meeting was now at 11 and some people would say it's now at 1. So yeah, I think it depends on the person.
Yeah, Australian English would do, well, I've been taught back means forward, like at 1 o'clock. So it was pushed back 2 months longer, and that was really needed because I would not have been able to do that soundtrack in that time. But in the end, it turned out really, really well. But we had to sort of preempt. I had to, because you always record the real musicians at the end, or I do. So then you can, wow, this is Christmassy and good. What a
Yeah,
holiday
it
miracle.
is.
Nice.
Very festive or so.
So yeah, I've mixed and mastered the tracks and put them in the games with balance them, and then I recorded the musicians and mixed that in and then mastered that and then submitted everything. I think the Yagluth track was finished the day before the absolute final deadline.
Wow.
That was very late to the party.
So, how does that affect you being able to compose? I mean, I always hear that, you know, you have to give creativity its time. You can't rush that. How does that work when you have a deadline?
I need a deadline to be creative. I feel like I know that if I wouldn't have chosen to be a composer, I wouldn't necessarily compose any music, because there's just so many fun things to do in life that I would put time into those other things. So I knew I had to choose to work as a composer in order to compose music and have that sort of have the projects, have the deadlines. But it's a fine balance, because sometimes some of the best things I've done have been done in 2 days, and that was just lucky because that was just enough time to be very direct with what you're inspired by, and you go on raw energy. When you have too much time, say you would have a year to write a song, then you probably put it off anyway, or you overwork it to a stage where it's so polished that it's boring instead. So it's a fine line between how much time you have to work and what is too little time. But Valheim was lucky that it was enough time to grow into the world. So when I'd done like 50% of the soundtrack, I really knew the world and I knew the sound feeling that we were going for. So it was easier to compose then. I think that's having time to prepare the work beforehand is probably more important. Then you can be relatively swift with what you're doing. But it's also these are in genres that I know very well. I'm negotiating for another game, which is a completely different genre, which is more jazz based, it's a type of music I have worked with before, but not continuously composing. So I know I'm going to need more time to do that as well as I want to. While with Valheim, I know I can have a shorter deadline, and I know the game very well, and I have the tools ready for this job. Uke berries.
Yeah.
New berries.
Yeah. After you kill this guy, you should try them.
Ah, that'll be fun. Feeling sick. Nice.
And there you
don't feel so as you can't hold your food down. Yeah, so yeah, nah, as we say in Australia.
Come on.
Okay, just for you, because you asked so nicely.
Okay, thank you. There we go.
Uh-oh. Well, that was fun. Oh, Chanda everywhere.
I just hope I'm never sick like that in real life. It looks awful.
Yeah. That's horrible.
When,
but an experience.
Yeah. I'm gonna get picked on for that, definitely, because people have started telling me that I killed devs, which is not true. I do not kill devs. They kill themselves. Survive. No, they kill themselves and I rescue them. That's what happens. And now they're gonna be like, oh, you didn't kill him. You just made him throw up everywhere. Like, y'all are giving me a bad reputation.
At least I came out happy the other side, so it's all good.
Right. Well, we haven't left yet, but fingers crossed.
Exactly.
Stay alive. That's what I'm telling all devs now. Please, if you do nothing else, don't die.
Don't die. At least we can don't die together, not die together. What would you say, all of you I wanted to ask, what are your favorite musical tracks? And do you have a not favorite musical track in the game?
Well, you know my not favorite.
Yes, exactly. which sadly is exactly how it's supposed to work. So I'm both happy and sad at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I like the music when I'm not in the swamp. Like when I'm listening to the soundtrack, it's lovely. But not when I'm in the swamp.
No, then it's survival mode.
Exactly.
I think my favourite track that I've come across so far, so obviously I'm playing through the game blind, so it's only up until, so I've just defeated Bone Mass. That's as far as I've got. But I have to say, I think the Bone Mass fight is my favourite piece so far. Probably because it's kind of on the same sort of, it's very sort of like heavy metal reminiscent of stuff, and that's the sort of music I listen to anyway, so I kind of just want to go and fight Bone Mass again now, just to listen to that piece of music again. It was all, I remember when I was in the middle of the fight, I was like, oh my god, this music is awesome!
It's really funny that you mentioned that one, because there was another person on Twitter, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago, who said that they want more music like the Bone Mass fight, and I asked them about their thoughts on it, and it's the most industrial track, I would say, of all the boss fights, and in a strange way, it's the simplest, because it's straightforward metal. I am a metal musician originally, so it funny enough feels like coming home. I haven't done really metal in years, but I used to play a lot of progressive heavy metal, Dream Theater and the like before, and this game has been like a nice return to that world. Well, what metal music do you like?
We'll pick up there next time.
Everybody in the world, I hope we can get together and meet as people once more. So happy gaming. I hope you all have a great day.
Happy gaming!